Hey everybody, hope you're well on this yet again bright, sunny, although cold Thursday. The page turned to November with a snow squall, at least at my house. I imagine that was true for most of the northwest corner, enough to paint the ground white for a little while as a reminder of what is around the corner. I am now, for me, I had to take a month off running because I had a stress fracture, and so I started running again in November 1st, and I had to get a whole round of new clothes up that were out of my top shelf in my closet because it's chilly out there these days. It is also, November is Native American Heritage Month. And we in the Northwest Corner have the Institute for American Indian Studies in Washington, and they are having a bunch of events, which I will put in the newsletter, and I'm going to try to make it to some of those. I actually kicked off the month a little bit early with a tour of the Mashantucket Pequot Reservation earlier this week. We in the Finance Committee are wrestling with a tricky taxation issue that affects our two federally recognized tribes. And so we're spending some time getting to know their system of government, the services they provide, the services the towns provide, and how we set up, both respect their sovereignty and also, incentivize good relations between the towns and the tribes. So that was a really fascinating tour of the Mashantucket Pequot Reservation, and I'm also looking forward to getting out to the Institute for American Indian Studies in Washington. In particular, it is also Veterans Day this month, and little fact that Native Americans have served in the United States military with the highest record of service per capita when compared to any other ethnic group, which is pretty interesting. So they are having an event. They're kicking that off with an event this weekend for honoring Native American veterans, which is pretty interesting. I will not make it to that because last weekend we went to visit our son Max in college, who's a senior, and we got to watch his last home football game, which was fun, and get treated to a little senior parent pageantry, which is always nice. And then this weekend, I am somewhat spontaneously deciding my husband and I are going to go visit our daughter who works in Lewiston. She recently moved out of Lewiston proper, but she still works there every day. And so we want to go up and see her and her friends and the community in Lewiston, where we have spent so much time visiting her over the years, in the wake of this yet again tragic, although not surprising, mass shooting that left 18 people dead and more than a dozen injured. It's interesting, to the extent we're finding interesting facts about this. We had the congressional representative who represents that area changed his stance on banning assault weapons, and in particular because it took place in a rural area where sometimes we think this doesn't happen in rural areas, and it does and can. And so I think it's possibly changing some perspectives on gun safety. So we'll see, but I'm certainly looking forward to going up and giving Abby a hug. Wanted to highlight a few other events coming up. Daylight savings time ends this weekend. Don't forget that. Election day, of course, on Tuesday, November 7th. Please make sure you make a plan to vote. We have lots of, as I've said for the last few weeks, lots of great people who have put their names forward to be municipal candidates, and they deserve our support and attention. So lots of profiles of candidates in the various local papers that you can find out information on. So please make a plan to vote on Tuesday, November 7th. I'm also going to get to the ribbon cutting for Kent's new sidewalks next week on November 8th. A really interesting school safety legislative informational breakfast in Danbury at Western Connecticut State University for the Western region of Connecticut. Wamogo Agri-Science Open House on the 9th, and of course Veterans Day on November 11th. And there will, as always, be an event at outside Salisbury Town Hall at 11 o'clock. So maybe I'll see you at one of many of those events. Enjoy your day and the weekend. See you soon.